episode of the podcast Feedback Matters. We are going to try something very different here today. You ready for this? Here's the idea. As you well know, we just released a new version of our guest feedback dashboard. You had a preview of it. Did. The original idea for this episode was to sort of go through all the details of the dashboard. We're not going to do that.
Absolutely not.
We're going to do something that we probably should have done a month ago, but I'm confident that it'll be okay. So you ready? Here's the idea.
I'm ready.
You talk to prospective customers of ours, people who run hotels, people who manage hotels.
Yes.
What is important, do you feel, in 2022? Today is February 22nd, 2022. So that's all the twos. It's Tuesday,
and it's
22. It's not 2:22 in the morning or afternoon, but whatever. My question is, what is important for owners, operators, managers of hospitality properties to see in a dashboard, an online dashboard that's accessible to them at any time of day or night, every day, from the standpoint of results from their guest experience feedback survey?
I know where you're going.
Where am I going?
What is my mantra to your team? What am I always pushing your team? At a glance. They have to.
At a glance. Okay.
They have to, our customers have to be able to glean an awful lot of information in 2022 with all the distractions, all the time constraints, and unfortunately, because of COVID, with personnel constraints, they have to glean as much information as possible in the least amount of time and the least amount of effort. So as a company, we're always pushing at a glance. What can our report show our clients in the shortest amount of time, the most usable information to help run their property?
All right. So obviously that's something that you didn't just say today. That's something you've been saying for, 20 years. But we didn't talk about this.
Changes over time. What we're technologically able to produce on a report changes,
and what people are able to consume.
The devices that people have changes their ability to utilize our reports.
Okay, so you've reviewed the new dashboard on your own.
I did,
and we've gone through it a little bit together. So I'm not going to give the tour. I'm just going to share it on the screen. And I want you to weigh in on whether what you think is important at a glance in 2022 is there. Have we accomplished what we've set out to do?
Okay. First of all, full disclosure, I think that it's an excellent dashboard because it accomplishes what any good report needs to do,
which
simplicity, usability, and the heat map. When it's positive results, they're green. If you look to the right, there are some negative results there that are red. So it just helps that at a glance philosophy where you could see where you may need to get more attention to on a particular part of your operation. It's all good. It's simple, it's straightforward, and it's well put together.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I was going to say is that one of our challenges from day one has always been, how much do you ask of guests? And that challenge has not only been internal, like what do we think we should be asking of guests, but also we sometimes have, I don't want to say butted heads, but we've had to convince clients of ours that you can't ask too much. You only should be asking the things that are going to be useful and not waste people's time. If you can't use the information you get back, don't ask them about it. And by the same token,
we definitely have had to guide our clients over the years
Yes.
to, shorter and sweeter is better.
But
There's survey fatigue you have to worry about. There's distractions, especially these days, that you have to worry about.
But on the other end, so that's one part of what we do is asking questions. But then the other part is this, which is showing the answers, like this, making sense of the answers and
Right.
showing it to our clients whose operations we're getting information about, but showing that information to them in a way that's A, useful, and B, is logical in the way that they can go through the layers. And to your point,
Right.
at a glance, is you're saying that we've accomplished that with this most latest version.
Yeah, scroll down. If you scroll down, you'll see the next section of our report has some line graphs to answering some operational questions that we put in the survey after the loyalty section. So again, you can see the trends of the answers to those questions.
Yep.
And then if you just scroll down a little bit more, you'll see verbatim write-ins that
Yes.
are a very important part of our survey and everybody's survey.
Right.
So what I like about it, again, going back to our at a glance philosophy, is no matter what each of our clients' definition of at a glance, whether it's a 15-second glance, whether it's a glance of just the loyalty section on top, or whether it's a glance down to the operational questions, or whether it's a glance going further down to the verbatim comments. Whatever their definition of at a glance, if it's a 15-second glance, a 30-second glance, or a minute glance, they're able to glean a whole lot of information about how their customer satisfaction levels are.
Yeah, it is all on one page. And to your point, they don't have to look at every metric, only those that are important. And I guess we got here because we've learned over time that many of our clients on a regular basis are only looking at this information. They're not digging deeper, as you could do here through this button. They're
It's
not on a
vital to
regular
have that
basis doing
ability
that.
to dig deeper. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying they don't do it on a regular basis. They do it, but they don't dig on a regular basis deeper.
No,
It's just a
but
periodic.
you should still have it, and we do.
Yeah.
And
As-
for example, a lot of people have told me that they have monthly, weekly, even quarterly meetings where they'll dig down all the way to the individual answers to each survey question,
Right.
and maybe even export raw data to them. And they have people on their staff with analytic ability to analyze the data. But most of our clients just do the at a glance review of their reports. And the way we set it up, you could just see where you stand on a lot of these questions very quickly and easily.
Right. All right. So the one I do want to point out one thing. I want to get into specifics of one thing. So you pointed out that green means that your trend's higher and red means that your trend's lower. But there's one question on here where that's not true. And
Right.
I know we sort of touched on it a little bit. We're
butting heads.
torn.
We're more than touching on it. We're butting heads on that question.
We're butting heads on it. We're sort of torn about this. So over
You're
here,
torn. I'm
we have this
convinced.
healthy hospitality spaces metrics, and there's two of them: concern about staying healthy prior to arrival, and then hotels COVID protocols made me feel safer. And they're driven by these two questions, which I'll put on the screen. So concern about staying healthy prior to your stay. The question is, COVID-19 has impacted how we live, work, and travel. Prior to arrival, how concerned were you about the hotel providing a safe environment to stay healthy? 3 choices: very concerned, somewhat concerned, not at all concerned. So this metric represents the percentage of people who said either the first or second choice, which were very concerned or somewhat concerned. So it's not necessarily a good thing if that percentage goes up. This is the only
It's a
question.
bad thing if that percentage goes
It is a bad thing if that percentage goes
up.
up.
And
so
that box
we
should be
should
red.
possibly reverse the color display here from the number going up should go red, and if it goes down from one period to the next, it should be green. But that's inconsistent.
Why don't we ask the folks that might be listening
weigh in on
that.
Weigh in on the comments
and voice their opinion.
Yes. easy change. It's confusing the way it is, but maybe it'll be more confusing if we change it, because it'll be the only number that's just that.
I could see that it might be, but the bottom line is it's a bad thing if more people are concerned. So it should be read.
Maybe we should just have a call out caption saying that this is the only number that red is better than green. This is the only metric on this dashboard where red is better than green. I don't know. We got to do something, but we'll see.
Oh, you know what I'd like you to do?
What?
Why don't you just tell the folks about the pie charts and how where you could roll over and see the different answers to each question?
Oh yeah, sure. So this is just an updated version of our pie chart technology, I guess is the best way to describe it. So in the instance of the FVS or fan value score segments, there are 5 possible fan value scores that each guest earn depending on their answers to their questions relating to loyalty. So those 3 questions are: would you recommend the hotel? How likely are you to stay at the hotel again? And were your expectations exceeded, met, or not met? And the answers to those 3 questions are put into our algorithm, and you get a score. And you can only get 1 of 5 scores: +2, +1. Those are the better scores. 0 is neutral, -1 and -2. And so the pie chart here shows the distribution of those 5 values of all the surveys completed during this time frame, which is the 30 days prior to when this report was loaded, which was today. So in the past 30 days, if you roll over the pie chart, there 80% of the surveys answered, those people were assigned the +2 value. If you roll over the next color, 10% were assigned the +1 fan value score, 5% were assigned the 0 or neutral score, and then 5% were assigned the -1 score, and there were no people who were assigned the -2 score. So that's how it works. Similarly down here, just quickly, we asked the question about recommendation: would you recommend the hotel after staying there? It's only a yes or no question as far as we're concerned. So this shows that 95% answered yes and 5% answered no. And the same thing for all of our pie charts. That's how they work. And you can see the individual values.
It's just a cool way, an upgraded way that, the pie charts show you the information.
Yeah, it's a good way to visualize the data. Yep, absolutely. And obviously this is a demo survey, which anyone can take. It's accessible by our main website. We'll put a link in the description on the YouTube channel below, as well as in the notes on the audio version of this podcast, if you'd like to take the survey, and then you'll be sent a link afterwards to review the report or the dashboard on your own.
Another great feature of this report and any report, when you scroll over the question marks next to each data point, it gives you a description of what the results show. I think that's important because our clients always adding people to their staff, always having new people using the reports, and it just helps it be more intuitive and sort of self-explanatory and just easy to use for our clients.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. That's something that we've sort of, I would say, used more and more over time in our interfaces, just to provide more helpful information to help people navigate all of our interfaces over time. And any kind of hints or tips or definitions, if we can provide them on the page without having people have to either send us an email or get us on the phone to explain something. Certainly we have training videos and all that, but it's a lot easier for somebody, especially as you mentioned, if they're new to an organization, if they have the information just available to them, I should say, right on the page. That's certainly a better way to do it. Again, people's time has become so limited. People seem to be responsible for many more tasks, certainly more so than they were 15 years ago when this all started, or more than 15 years ago. So if we can help people navigate through these tools faster and provide as much information as possible without requiring them to ask for more, it's better for everyone. It's a win-win, right? Yeah, so at a glance, I think, did we get your seal of approval on at a glance here?
Yes, I think it's, I like the old report as well. This is a great upgrade though, and it definitely meets the at a glance mantra, that's for sure.
Yeah, I would just say that the key difference is that by using the heat map style of color coding, positive and negative with green and red, as well as trend indicators with arrows, it helps that at a glance
Yes,
concept
definitely.
work
It
even
supports
better.
it very well. Yep.
All right then. Well, thank you
Good
for
job. Good job to the team.
thank well, thank you. Appreciate the feedback and the weighing in on this. And if anyone has any questions who happen to be watching or listening, feel free to reach out in comments or to our email addresses directly, and we're happy to answer them. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we'll be back soon with another episode.
Have a great day, folks. Thank you.